Yo, we back up, y'all. We had a few little technical difficulties, but we back in action. Once again, we want to invite y'all to call in and join the conversation at 248-429-7224. That's right, 248-429-7224. We were in the middle of a conversation talking about, what this movement means to my peers here when we talk about the BBS Boys Detroit and what we're trying to do. And so Tone expressed what he felt about it, and Kay was in the middle of it. So go ahead and pick up where you were at, Kay, and what you were saying about, music. And we were having a conversation when we talked about the differences in the music at this particular time, about what's being said now, how people are incriminating themselves, and encouraging other people to do all kind of stuff. And back then, the music was more the feel good type, party type of atmosphere. I saw a post that was out from BBS boys out of Newark, New Jersey, Rich Reg and them, and they were at a party, and I saw a post earlier in that when it was talking about, man, back in the day, people was dancing. You go to the party and they be bugging. You know what I'm saying? They dancing. Yeah. Nowadays, you got guys posting up, want to get a bottle and be in a VIP just to be seen. That was the comparison. You know what I mean? And there's women in there, and ain't nobody hollering at the women. They all grouped up over here. Yeah. And the women over there, they there to get chose, but ain't none of that going on. You trying to just post up in the VIP.
Whole different culture.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing, man. So, as we continue with this conversation, it's just interesting the way that you see things now. So, let me move on to the next question then. What interested you both about the 80s and the 90s during that time? Was it the cars? Was it the music? Was it the clothes? Or was it the opportunities? You know what I mean? The opportunities that were out there. I think you touched on it a couple episodes ago, Tom, when you said no more was it certain just entities able to hold down the city on what they was doing, because once that all got broke up, there's a lot of independent entrepreneurs out there during that time, in which the floodgates was wide open for everybody to get a little bit of that money. So what interested y'all the most, back in the 80s and 90s during that time? Was it the cars, the music, the clothes, the opportunities? What was it, on your mindset at that time?
For me, it was everything.
All balled up into one, huh?
All balled up in one, like newspaper.
Right.
Yeah, no, because I had every part of everything that you just stated. You got to figure the clothes that came out. Even though a lot of the clothes were out, we just chose the clothes to come out to step out with. Right. I mean, like Nautica. Nobody's paying no attention to Nautica. I think I did the first sweatshirt. Everybody was looking at me like, "What you doing with a boat on your chest with all these different flags?" And you find that same sweatshirt today is probably worth like a good couple of $100.
I still wear them things now, because back then when we first and the jackets and everything.
Yeah, so Nautica jackets, you got to figure Tommy Hilfiger. We were doing that. Fila. Oh, Fila was flooded. Like
Puma.
Puma. Yeah, you had Troop. You had cross color. You had so much going on between that 80s and 90s era that you could be as fly as you want to be. You could be like Kwame in the effing polka dots, if that's what you wanted to do. I mean, I had a couple of them shirts until I was like, okay, no more. Right. But and then as far as the cars fashion was competition, because basically at that given time we were coming away from the GM front wheel drive Cutlass Sierras and stuff like that. I mean, they were okay back then, but when we went into that new era of the 85, 86, it changed. The Monte Carlo SS's, even Benz's, everything. Everything started to change. And then the one unique thing that happened was street life. And street life glorified, a whole bunch of things. I mean, really, it started before us when the actual pimp was out and he was driving the Cadillac with the big old circle lights, and the
diamond in the back.
Yeah, so that where it came from. And the thing is, no matter what city you went to, everybody had their way, which is almost close to looking alike. Detroit, we stood on our own way, but whenever you went somewhere, you looked and seen cars that were almost similar to yours. I know the times we went to Chicago due to you, Like those cats were still driving '98 Oldsmobiles and things like that when we were already coming in with the foreigns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, that whole just the dynamics of everything at that given time changed.
Yeah, it all depends on what region you was in.
Yeah.
Where
yeah,
you was at.
absolutely.
Hey, y'all, join in on the conversation. 248-429-7224. That's right, 248-429-7224. So now that those times have passed, right, back then, and all that stuff it's been passed.
There you go. There you go, Glenn.
What is the attraction to us continuing on or revitalizing that movement right now? What is the attraction to that? I know what I'm looking for, but I want to hear from y'all. What is the attraction to continue revive? That was smooth. That I like that, Glenn. What you was just doing remind me of my days in Chicago.
That's why I make the date.
But what is the attraction or the motivation behind wanting to revitalize that era? With the music, with the clothes, with the cars, and all that to you guys.
Go ahead.
I think because it represented something bigger than self. It seemed like a lot of this culture is about self, and everything you're doing is just to benefit yourself. Mm-hmm. Whereas that culture really was about, okay, I'm gonna have a lot, but I'm only gonna have a lot to give a lot, and to have fun and to inspire other people to give a lot and have fun. That way, that circle continues because everybody is winning now.
Right.
Whereas, now you see one person winning, but the whole team ain't winning. So it's no unity and it's no teamwork to make the dream work.
Yeah. I feel you. Because camaraderie means a lot, man, when you're trying to get down with doing something, especially with what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Camaraderie has a lot to do with that closeness and being able to accomplish something. So, Tony Tone says it all the time, man, one person need everybody gonna eat. You know what I mean? That mentality from all of us, still making sure that everybody's trying to be, part of the movement and trying to, gain that same. I'm not looking for what we did back in the 80s or 90s. I'm not looking for that. But I am looking for the camaraderie and the fact that, you can go somewhere, have a good time and still represent. That time and that culture around that time, it was a lot of togetherness and closeness between groups. Individuals, not necessarily cliques, but people would when you say family, that's my bruh.
That's right.
It meant that back then. You know what I mean? To this day, you still got folks that are still like look at us. We still connected, still friends, still doing all these same different things. So the culture itself, and what I like to see, to your point, Tone, what you said, it's good to see that there are other like-minded people in other states doing the same thing, and that's what brings that thing all together. When we met with Reg and Drac and all the rest of them when they came, it felt like we've been knowing them forever. You know what I mean? Ty, when he calls, it feels like, I've been knowing you forever. So it's that close-knit type of relationship. And then the cars is just another avenue to make sure that that connection is still there, So with that being, I know you was getting ready to say something, Tom, before Kay did.
No, I mean, as far as I was going to touch a little bit on the base of what he stated with the hip hop era and things like that. The hip hop era now is where they iced our hip hop era out because our hip hop era was preaching. Hip hop era now is just what you see, and that's more of it is about self and what I got.
Boasting.
Yep, and then so it makes the other guy look at you differently because if he ain't got it, he's trying to get it from you.
Right.
Or his team or whoever. So it makes it a little bit more different nowadays. But that was actually there was a podcast with one of the Bone Thugs Harmony that actually explained that the change within the hip hop that we were listening to back then versus what's going on now. This hip hop is made for what's going on from what I listened to on that podcast for the things that you see in reaction. Versus ours, it was about partying.
Yeah, having a good time.
Yeah, it was about partying. It was about meeting a girl, without saying all the derogatory stuff, and it was, back then regardless if the girl was looking at you in that way to get it, she wasn't that easy. You might have had one out of whoever knows.
True.
You're not finna pick her up and go out
Yeah,
and Jake play Luke.
Yeah, you're not right. No, you're not about to do that.
Pop that. You ain't finna put that on in the car.
You're not about
with
to do that, and then you're not about to talk about getting head and all that other stuff that they got going on in the records nowadays. Like our records was, like Positive K. Excuse me, you got it, man. What that got to do with me? You know?
Right.
But he was just trying to take her out.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't about, okay, I'm taking you out, and then maybe we get in the car, and then we gonna do what we do in the car before I get out, and then your girl, there we go. It's all crazy.
Yeah, they get to doing that, man. They have to put on some cool Modi, go see the doctor.
Yeah.
I think that the differences in the cultures in terms of timing is that back in the day, more people did things together as a team. I mean, if you were in the streets getting some money, you had to have a team to do it.
Yep.
If one dude in the crew got a nice car, then the other dudes would help the other dudes get them a nice car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if it meant, okay, well, we gonna work 2 weeks and everything we make gonna go to so and so. Get his car.
Yep.
And you don't see that kind of stuff even in hip hop.
Right.
Even in hip hop, it was like if one guy was a DJ and another guy could rap, all it had to start was with those two guys.
Then they get the next person on.
And then the next person be like, that's what y'all doing?
Yeah.
May not have no talent at all.
Right.
But he may be the dude that just go to the sessions, cheer the other dudes on.
Mm-hmm.
He may take a security role on the team. Anything.
He gonna eat.
Support, though.
Yeah, support.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we come in an era where young black men didn't really, the era before, young black men really wasn't allowed to get money the way that young guys could get money in that era.
Right.
Because the old heads just wasn't giving that game up.
Nah. It was on lock.
Yeah. So I think that what changed it and what made it so different is that you got some young cats, or cats that's not young now, but were young then, that amassed a lot of money. Some of these guys bought their whole neighborhoods up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We hear all of the horror stories, and they do exist, and some of them are true. But there are also some guys that put their banking in place, got their family out of the ghetto, bought some properties, and you can see now where their kids are running those businesses.
They created some generational wealth.
Without saying any names, it happened.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now, that era of young man, wasn't really into getting high as much as he was getting him some money.
That's right.
And now it's reversed.
Yeah.
You got guys that's famous and get a hit record, and the record is talking about how high they get.
Right. Exactly.
So it's kind of
yeah, it's crazy. It's back then you was what you just said a little bit earlier. Don't get high on your own supply. You ain't finna be.
Well, these guys now don't even get high on their own supply. They going to get it. Yeah, they go to get it. They go hustle and then go buy.
They the customer.
Yeah.
They the customer. So,
and glad to be the customer.
And we'll tell you in a second. And it's interesting.
I mean,
sit back and watch
in that era, if you was sneaking around, dibbing and dabbing with using,
was a no.
Soon as it got out, it was like
you just didn't.
You ahead.
You cast all your chips in. You done.
You straight up ahead.
You done.
Yeah, you don't. Nobody want to be around you.
Ain't nobody gonna trust you.
The women don't want to be bothered with you.
Right.
But now it's like
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
the
that's
women.
the norm.
They
That's the
smoking.
culture.
Yeah, you in the car. You think the females. You might as well say, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah.
That's what they calling you.
Yeah.
They like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
we eat the cigarettes.
Yeah,
you know,
bro.
You know that.
For real, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes I feel sorry for some of these guys in the industry, from the industry part of it, because they think they know, and they really don't.
know.
And when you see them in the studio, by me being still semi-active, I just sit back sometimes and I'm watching these guys calling themselves create, and it be like, man, this is terrible.
Again, we talk about these things out there, people, because it's not to criticize; it's an observation.
I mean,
Just
if you don't observe,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
Every era, the ones that come before us, those people thought we was doing some weirdo stuff.
Right. Exactly.
That's just the progression of life.
Yeah.
We get that. We understand that that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come from an era where it looked like people were trying to pull themselves up, and then you look into the future and you see people going in the opposite direction.
It just doesn't register, right?
It don't register.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can ask people today, do you think that black people are in a better condition as a whole today than they were from years past?
No.
And they'll say, yeah, real quick.
Nah, this.
And I'll pose a couple questions like, have you ever heard of Black Bottom? No, what's that?
See,
I said, that is an area that was all black that had its own economy.
mm-hmm.
Paradise Valley.
I said, this ain't me talking because I'm not from that era. I'm just telling you about research that I've done, and I found out, well, a dollar stayed in Black Bottom for months.
Right, rotate.
How long does a dollar stay in the black community today? Hours. Only hours. We got a call.
BBS Boys Detroit, welcome to the show. This is E Double. Who we got on the line?
What's up? What's up? This is Troy. What's going on, everybody?
What up, Troy? How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on? I'm good. I'm just calling, man, just to do my regular call in on a Wednesday, man, and just to let everybody know, man. I had a nice time last couple of weeks, man. Y'all guys definitely.
That's Mr. Accurate Legend over there.
Man, let me tell you something, man. And Palatone, man, really, you know what I mean, really was on the phone calls with me, and also Overtone. They was on the phone call on phone with me, man. They was making sure I got to the airport, making sure I landed. Like, you all right? You know what I mean? Call this person, call that person, call Palatone. As soon as you touch down, they made sure I was all right. So when I got down into Miami, I called him Palatone up. I said, I'm here. All right, Troy, come to the convention center, da-da-da-da-da. Man, him and Face, they really looked out for me, man. They was like, look, you ain't got to worry about nothing. We got you. Don't go nowhere. You with us. And that's how they did it the whole time, man. And I appreciate them for that, man.
That's
it's
love.
like
That's love, man.
I was leery of going down there by myself. And because I know Ty and all of them couldn't go. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to go down here on Faith. I'm going to see what happened. And, man, I can truly say, man, Tone and Face really looked out for me, man. I'll do it again. If it's in Houston next year, I'll go there by myself again because I know they got me, man. I know I'm going to be all right.
Well, you don't have to, and that's good looking. I hope you heard what we said earlier in the show. We were talking about, how this movement has created brotherhoods across states and all kinds of stuff, man. It's like now, I feel like I already know you, and I haven't even met you personally, but I feel like I already know you. You've called in tremendously over the times we've been doing the show. But here's to say this. Think about when you come here. Y'all in a whole nother state. What's going to happen when you come here? You think you got that love then, you're going to even get more when you get here, man. That's just how we do.
I believe it. I believe it. I mean, me and K Boog, we walking around.
What up, dog?
Just me and him. We just talking and talking. Everybody else walked off. We wound up talking to Sean, Envy's right hand man, and handling the car. We had a deep conversation just with us three, and me and K Boog just walking, and me and him just walking around the event. And that's when I bumped into DJX.
Okay.
I bumped into him. I'm gonna tell y'all how it happened real quick. I said, K Boog, hold on a second. I saw him. I said, K Boog, hold on a minute. And he was taking pictures. I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, you DJ Epps? He said, yeah. I said, I'm Troy from Be More BBS Boys, because I've been listening to him on Sirius Satellite on Saturdays when I'm out here working. He said, yeah, I know who you are. He was like, I remember you, you know what I mean? I shouted you out or whatever. And it just went from there. Said a couple things about the cars over there, White Boy Rick car and the 850. That was it. I walked off, and next thing I know, here he coming back around with where everybody else was at with the dunks and all the other stuff, and I just opened my mouth from there. I just took it from there, and it just exploded.
Yes,
They'll tell you right there, it just exploded. I started running my mouth, and hey, we definitely got one on Sirius Satellite right now.
Yeah. It don't pay to be quiet, except for when you need to be.
Man.
Yeah, his show the other night, he gave some shout outs.
Yeah, he gave some shout outs, and that was a very, very good look. And even sent us the drop when, you know, the actual recorded drop of him saying, you know, to you as well as us here. And it was a good look, man. That's a good look. Like, you know, the movement is getting bigger, and it's getting bigger, and people realize that. I mean, everything starts off light before it becomes heavy, but you can see the actual motion and the actual movement of what's going on. And our part is between us here, you all down there, Reg, and also, you know, our guys out in Oakland, B and them. You know, people see the car, and it's like it's a reminisce factor. You know what I mean? And that's what brings us all together in this whole ordeal as far as the BBS movement. You know?
Oh yeah, man. 2022 is gonna be fabulous, man. It's gonna be monstrous.
Let me tell you something, man. I ain't mean to cut you off, but K Mac, you got yourself one with that daggone red one, man. I can't keep looking at it, man. That red one is something serious, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. That red one and that white one that Tone has, and Pilot Tone will tell you, when we was down that Saturday, when we were talking to the one guy on Saturday before everybody got there, he know what I'm talking about. The guy had that dunk for sale.
Right.
When Face showed him them pictures of y'all showing Detroit, he lost his mind.
Yeah, that shouts out to TJ. Yeah, TJ is pretty big in Miami.
He lost his mind. Yes, he was like, this how y'all doing it? I said, man, this ain't nothing. And what happened, Tony? He wound up buying one, the next found one down there somewhere.
He found a black Legend coupe. And he was like, man, I'm coming for y'all. I'm like, come on, bring it.
Telling you, man. Tell you, man. I just figure I'll call in, man, let y'all know how, you know what I mean, how I enjoyed myself a couple weeks ago, man. And we just trying to get it together down here in Baltimore. But I think I was talking to Ty yesterday. I was over his house. If y'all saw, I put it up there on Instagram. I was over his house. Let me tell y'all something. That BMW ain't nothing to play with.
I believe I seen the pictures of delivery and everything.
Yeah, it was nice,
man. And I went over his house Monday. That BMW is something serious, man. I had to go see it for myself. I said, let me go over his house and see what's going on. And yeah, I saw it from my own eyes. Like, yeah, them rims on there, them deep dish B's is he got himself one with that one. But I'm gonna let y'all go. And I'll be on here next next Wednesday checking y'all out. And like I said, man, I appreciate the love down there in Miami. I'm definitely can't wait to hook up with y'all guys again, man.
It's just the beginning, bro. We got a lot coming up, man. And we'll be sure to make sure you connected on that.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate, man. Yeah. We're glad that you had a good time with us hanging out. That's just us at heart, man. We, unless you do something bad to one, then you're going to get it from all. If you stay good with us, then you straight across the
you
line.
know what?
We treat you like family.
I'm gonna say one thing. I was listening to y'all last week, and when Tone and Pilot Tone was explaining the situation with Envy, he said he was like, Troy ran up on him. I was like, I ran up on him. I said we was all standing there, but I had to laugh when he explained it because the way I was on him was like, man, I like this ain't enough cars. You gotta do something. Like, listen, seriously, when he pulled up with the 850, I said it right there in front of his face. I said, man, this is the car right here. I said, finally, y'all brought another car down here. He was looking, he was like, man, I wish I wouldn't have never sold it. I said, you sold it? Yeah, I wish I would have kept it. So he went to go park it. I guess Sean went to go park it. I said, dude, you gotta get some more cars here. What's up? And he looked at Tone, and he was just looking around. He was like, yeah, I gotta get some more cars. I'm like, this ain't cutting it. I didn't mean for it to come out like that, but I just was like telling him, dude, how we going to explode this thing if, you know what I mean, you only got 2 cars? And Tone told me when I got to the convention center early, and I said it to Tone. I said, Tone, where the cars at? The only car I see is White Boy Rick car sitting there. He said, Troy, sometimes when you're in certain cities, they just not into it. And he did. We were sitting down in a chair, and he said it to me. And I said, you know what? I understand. I get it. I get it.
And guess what? Everybody else going to get it. By the time we get through with 2022, everybody else going to get it too. Yeah. They're going to understand by that time. I give it by June. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, the movement going to be so huge, man. People going to be begging to see how they can get on. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something.
The cars are going to be gone.
Let me tell you something, man. It's going to be worse than that because once they start the TV show, it's going to explode. Yeah. And like you said, it's going to be hard to find these cars now because everybody done already jumped on it.
Yeah.
Everybody done already jumped on it that we don't see. It's different states that's trying to come. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think South Carolina's trying to get a club together. Don't quote me on it. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. Mm-hmm. But didn't somebody say something where Reg and them was at your radio station, something about South Carolina, right?
I don't know. I have to go back and look at the episode.
I know my man Enduri and them is paid in full in North Carolina, mm-hmm. and Enduri does. He does like I do as far as, you know, he collects cars, but he also grabs them and sells them as well. But I'll be honest with you, when it comes down to it, even like how TJ found that Legend Coupe, man, I've been scouting and looking, dude. Let me tell you, there's nothing going on at this moment, and if you find one, you know, like literally you about to pay, you know, ain't no more of that couple of grand stuff. They've all gone up. I mean, 560s and everything. Like, you know, I was able to find 560s for a minute, and there's none. I mean, a non-running 560 is just a little below 10.
And this is another thing. Let me tell you what guys is doing. They're fixing them up, not telling nobody. They're buying them, fixing them up, and then they selling them. Once they fix them up, they fixing them up and selling them, they jacking the price. And I see the young boys want to buy them, but it's too much out there range. They want 15 grand, all this and that. And they like, man, that's too much money. So they're buying them and they fixing them up, and then they turn around and selling them. I'm like, why are you selling the cars if you dumped all this money in it? Won't you just keep it? But people gonna do what they want to do, you know.
Yeah. Everybody got their niche and notch, but I mean, you gotta look at the young cats. They'll make it happen. We was making it happen when they was 30,000.
That's
you know what I mean? So, you know, if it's meant for them to be in it, if not, it's gonna be a cat that's our age that say, you know what, I didn't want to have to go through the house and bustle. I'm gonna just take it.
Look, man, listen. Like Tone, I'm ready to get off. Tone, you right. You can't find these cars no more. Everybody buying them up. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be hard to find when the spring or summer come. But let me get out of here. Okay. I get up with y'all next Wednesday, and then we'll chop it up some more.
Okay, man. Right, happy holidays to you, man, and appreciate the call in.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Troy.
All right, thanks. No problem. Y'all guys
one
be
love.
Good.
Appreciate it.
All right.
So that's interesting because coming up in 2022, we're gonna do some shows in which we'll show you how we put these cars together. One in particular, because everybody's interested in Redbird. So everybody wants to know what's going on with that, how we did it. And Mac, that's Sonny's Mac's car right there, and he got some plans. Him and I have some plans to put a show together, a couple episodes where we show you how before and then the after and everything that took part in between to get it to where it's at right now. And he's still not done with it. So more to come on that stuff later on.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing like Tone's car too.
Yeah, same thing. But I don't know if he has any of that footage, but we're gonna make sure it's interesting in 2022. We're gonna do all kind of things. I mean, we may even do an episode with a lowrider, man. You could walk us through that, take some footage, and we'll put it up on here, and because there are a lot of people interested in that. You know what's going on with those things. You know how you put that together, where you find it at, and then when we talk about the business part of what we're doing in this movement, the plans in the future are to bring people on who have entrepreneurial businesses that they're doing their thing with, and that we can help get them exposure, to your point, okay, what you said earlier. So yeah, the cars that's going to be our number one thing always, but we also want to open up the platform to make sure that we expand out there to give people with businesses an opportunity to, you know, come and speak to us about it. I want to talk about real estate, you know, for a long time I did some things in real estate, you know, coming fresh out of my entrepreneurial stuff back in the day. You take that money and you do something with it, so to your point, Glenn, that you can fall back on, have something for your kids, move out of that other area. I don't understand why people, and again, I'm not judging anyone, but I don't understand why people get that money and then don't do nothing to better themselves. And, you know, it's backwards to me, because the reason why you even get involved in things in the first place is to get that bread. And when you get that bread, you're trying to better your life. So,
well,
you know,
the funny part about it though was that, believe it or not, they thought they did better themselves.
I guess so. A mink coat here, or, you know, some jewelry or whatever.
Man, listen, I mean, some guys, you know, but it's part of the growing process.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you've never had anything,
That's
and
true.
then you get the opportunity to have something, and no one has ever told you
See, that's what
or
I was going to
taught
say.
you.
Put some in your ear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so.
And be smart enough to listen.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't be a knucklehead your whole life and not listen. So everybody don't want something from you. Some people trying to help you to get somewhere you're trying to go.
You know, better, you do
when
better.
somebody told me, what you doing with them commercial buildings, man? Why you got commercial buildings? Why you sitting on them? Why you ain't doing nothing with them? I said, because the time will come when I need to do something with them. I had two commercial buildings. For a long time, ain't do nothing with them. Then I just bought a couple of houses around the corner from the commercial buildings. And then as I'm working on those, you know, getting them together, when I finish this house, I'm gonna go do another one, and then do another one. At one time I had 8, you know, but that's a busy thing. Plus, you know, working and everything else, man. But you know, you got to have a plan and whatever you foresee what you want to do. So, you know, that's some of the stuff we're gonna talk about into 2022.
It is sponsor time.
All right, let's get there. Let's pay some bills, man. We want to talk to y'all about my man Sam Curry out there, Tax Smart. Sam, my man, takes care of all your tax needs, man. You can go check him out. If you have a situation with your taxes, you need to, you know, get that taken care of. Go see my man Sam at 20318 Grand River. That's right, 20318 Grand River in Detroit. That's Sam Curry for all your tax needs, man. These tax experts over there, they will handle whatever situation you may have and help you out. Also, I want to get some shout outs around this time, man. You know, I really want to give my man DJ Epps a shout out. That was surprising to me. Tone kept that from me. He didn't say nothing. DJ, I don't know if you knew about that one too, but Tone hit us up. I got a surprise, man. I got a surprise. And that was sure enough a surprise. I heard it live when he did it, so that was good, man, to hear that. Sounds like y'all had a great time down there in Miami. Some things, you know, was kind of fruitful for you know, some connections and stuff like that.
Yeah. I would say this network.
Yeah, I can say for myself. Came out good, pretty much all the way around. I mean,
Right.
A lot of new era.
Yeah, new connections and
New
things,
connections,
right?
yeah, man.
So, like, the title of this show is like, what is it all about? Why are we doing this? What are we doing this for? What is the purpose? And you heard Troy just mention that, you know, Reg and them got a TV show about to happen. You know, it's about to go down. I noticed that they already inked the deal for a whole season, so that's going to be good. Just think about what that's going to do for us people. So that's why we need you to call in, support the show, give us an opportunity to, you know, connect with y'all, talk about some things. Let's blow this thing up. I also want to talk about what's on the horizon in probably April, well, mid-April, something like that. Because Glenn, I want to help promote that show, man. I want to talk about the Video Music Awards, and that's coming up in 2022. Unfortunately, for the past couple of years, we've been dealing with this COVID thing, so large gatherings had to be put to a cease. But I know you're working on some things to get that thing out there, man. Gonna blow that up. So
yeah, we are continuing to work on it. Behind the scenes, we still, voting is still going, submissions is still going, and but we're in all honesty, we have to be very careful because I don't want to be known for the guy that put on a great event and then 30 people fell dead.
Right.
The next week, I just ain't that dude.
I hear you.
So we're gonna do it. We're just going to try to do it as safe as we possibly can, because to put together an event like that for people to just really have a great time, and then to hear 2 or 3 days later that 7-8 people laid up in the hospital, that ain't what we want to do. So hopefully, these numbers will start to go the other way, you know what I mean? And people, I don't like to get off into what people should and shouldn't do. I mean, do whatever you think is best for you and your family, but we got to be as safe as we possibly can is all I can say.
And I know folks can appreciate that, man, because I sure can, because I'm the same way, man. I don't want to see people, from an event or something that was carried on that I was a part of or that anybody was a part of, and then you turn around, these people are have succumbed to whatever is out there. If it could be prevented, it could be prevented.
Me and Tom, we've had a conversation about it, and I have been working diligently behind the scenes with the product and the content, being very meticulous about what gets nominated versus what doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I think that we're going to be okay. I just think that, we don't want to be insensitive with people being sick and dealing with that stuff with their family members, and we steady saying, well, we about to do this today, and forget everything else. You know what I mean? Most important thing is that we supply product and content that's going to allow people to enjoy themselves and be entertained. So I think you hit it about right. We're looking April-ish, and hopefully these numbers will start to subside, man.
Well, I already know you're going to put your all into them, and that's a good thing that you said, though, because people don't understand that behind the scenes, things happen to make stuff happen. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of work involved.
Oh,
even with this show.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff involved.
Yeah, people, I learned that, though, being in this industry as long as I have, most people, civilians, I'll call them that, civilians, they think this stuff is fun and a lot of fun and games.
Nah, man, the reward is when you sit back and you watch it, but people don't understand what went into it. Like, for instance, with the cars, the reward is once it's finished, you sit back and look at it, but everybody don't know all what you went through.
They don't know that backstory.
They don't know that backstory. The miles you driving to go pick up the car, the negotiating with the other person, and the parts and all that other stuff. People don't, all you see is the finish. So the gratification come when you sit back and you know what you did, in anything, you all know what you did.
Or you're dealing with somebody who just told you a lie about the car.
Right.
You know what I mean? When all I had to do was tell you.
True. Right.
This is what I do. I restore cars.
Right. Exactly.
So you can just tell me what I need to do and we can cut to the chase.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, in that business, it's a part of it to lie to people.
Right.
It's actually embedded into the fiber of that business.
Car sales, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether you go to a dealership or you dealing with somebody
what they used to say about the used car salesman?
Yeah.
The only thing worse than your lawyer is the used car salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that funny part, when I went to get my Legend Coupe Goldie, Tony went with me. And my man was literally going to sell his car to this young lady, but he kept BSing her. I'm like, man, listen, I'm about to send you some money on this car. I'll come down and get it. Do I need a trailer? He's like, Nah, man, you don't need no trailer. I put a new radiator in there. He's like, the only thing is, he told me what was going on. So I said, okay, cool. So me and Tony, when we get there, it's raining, you know, and the one thing he told me, soon as I checked the radiator, the bubble just came out. Like I opened it, it came out. So he was like, man, y'all could drive this car home. You ain't gotta have no trailer. Like, you sure? He said, man, I just drove this car from my area to Cleveland. That's like almost an hour and a half ride, and drove it back. Y'all can drive it home. So we get there. We gas up. I didn't bring a trailer. Sure enough, you know, Tone, Speedy Gonzalez. And we pushing it on the freeway. And Tone is right when I tell you, he's riding just no different than he was riding Sonny Mac's car when we went and got it. And so then we go in the same area, probably 10 minutes away from where we went the first area, to pick up my other car, my 560. And this guy said the same thing. Oh, man, it needs this bushing. And he's a cool guy. He probably wound up coming to our show. But he's like, yeah, it just need this bushing, man. But y'all can drive it home. No. After 40 miles an hour, when the steering wheel was shaking, and I was like, man, thank God I didn't listen to him, because the guy was like, no, take the trailer. You know, so he wasn't 100%. You know, the car ran good, but it didn't drive good.
So you would say from now on, you always take the trailer?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, unless the person really feels that I can tell just by the vibe. You know, with him, I just didn't get it. Like the guy with the Legend that I now have, and that car still is rolling with the mileage that's on it.
And that trailer costs money. You got to get some use out of it in some kind of way.
Yeah. Even though I do a lot of trailer rental because I don't have the space for one, but it was worth taking it. You know, because you don't want no holdups.
Yeah.
You know, when you get there, you do what you're gonna do if you're gonna do it, and you're out of there. You know.
Yeah, I was telling my daughter today, she was asking me what was the BBS Boys all about. She has a CL 500.
Okay.
And she was telling me, oh, I can get in that club. I said, I don't know. I said, your car kind of new. I said, I say, you know, they frown on them new cars, them new Benzes.
Well, you know, the
she
new
talking about, no, it's a 2012.
Anything start with a 2.
I said, no, I don't think you eligible.
Right.
That's interesting, because I'm really looking forward to see when the spring come. You know, once we hit these streets, and the reaction from folks, because obviously people know what's going on, and then you know the momentum that is going to throw us into from Reg and them show, just you know, and all of that.
Things are steady picking up. I mean, you know,
I'm interested to see what that's going to look like, and our goal, like I said, I want to see us elevate to a space whereas our representation for cultivating this culture and getting it to where people are flocking to, like whenever we have an event or something like that. And what I can't say that I was happy to see with Envy stuff the last few shows, there was no incidents, none. And we can do that, you know, which positivity is just the thing that you just want to always talk about, and, you know, make sure that it's put out there that we're just trying to have a good time. That's it. Yeah. Trying to promote, you know, just having a good time and supportive of other black businesses and just black people as a whole, man. Give us something to flock to. Something always sticks with me that Glenn said in one of our first shows. And I hate to keep, you know, bringing this up about the Dream Cruise and all that, but I'm really on the mindset of creating an environment where a situation where we have our own mini Dream Cruise that grows and grows and grows to where people are coming to us. You know, can we support that? Can we, you know, I'm talking about the big corporations or whoever to come see what we're doing and jump on that bandwagon. But, you know, in all due time, I'm in no rush, in no hurry. Just patience is a virtue.
Anywhere that you can show, excuse me, anywhere that you can show that you can pull people together, they'll support it.
Yeah.
I mean, a city like Highland Park even.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't have anything like that.
Right.
And they would love to have something like that.
Right.
to bring people to their city.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Generate a buzz.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So it's all about the spring, how we get out there and just use the platforms that we have to keep encouraging people to tune in and see what's going on. The interest, like I said, in the cars themselves and how we do it. That's why I want to put together some shows to show people how it's done, so they can see that the work that goes into this and the pride that we have from those vehicles. It's good. It's refreshing to hear people call from other states about the cars in the stable, or to give you the recognition across the states about what you do, with the car industry and what we trying to do, man.
So technically, a car becomes a classic after 10 years or 20 years?
20.
Is it 20 years?
20.
Okay.
20 years.
So if a person's car is not at least 20 years old, forget about it.
Well, I mean, in certain like New York, because of how New York is big, and it's all New York, New Jersey, it's a bunch of foreigns. So you got foreigns that's new, that's rolling on BBSs. Shout out to cousin Myron over there. Myron wants to put BBS in his BMW. I think a 2017 or 18. So he show up with it.
I guess you guys are gonna have to come up with some kind of guideline for that.
Yeah, well, the initial person coming into the group, we already have the guideline. it's.
But he or she may be able to fit the criteria as a person, but then just not have the vehicle.
Yeah, which may be, but the more the merrier as far as the movement. Like, everybody doesn't have to be in a club. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you know that when we get down, when we do something, you show up with your ride. Like when Nephew Brent did his party.
I don't know.
Kay showed up. I showed up.
That don't sound to me how black people roll.
Nah,
if they can't be in, they don't want nothing to do with it.
I mean that's
what
the individual themselves.
So what is what's the dude in my show, the motorcycle club that I like?
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. What's the dude they have running around doing every damn thing?
I'm not familiar. I haven't.
What they call him? He's kind of like the rookie, but they have a name for him in the club. They call him Prospect.
Prospect.
Oh, yeah. Prospect, huh?
So I guess them kind of people, they gonna have to be prospects.
Exactly. We talked about that.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, Prospect. The one thing you gotta remember at the end of the day, just like music, everybody want to belong and be in something.
Well,
but doesn't mean that it's for you.
That it should be. No,
right.
I get that, but I think that everybody should want to be involved or belong to something that's good.
Yeah, that's positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I just know that there's gonna be a lot of people that are going to be interested. I know that it's going to be that way. You know what I mean? And
we anticipate that too.
Yeah.
But again, there's a movement, and then there's I don't even want to say club. There's a movement, and then there's an organization. You know what I mean? When you put it like that. So, to your point, people want to come around. They might want to just see. Bring your car, come see. You can do all that. But when you start to bypass whatever standards that we put to say, you're a member of this, you're a member of that, just like anything else. There's a prospect, and then there's this period of time that you go through before you No,
I get all that, but my point was, if a person went through that period of time, but the car is not a classic.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna probably get a little. You know what I mean? Because just like people who love classic cars, you got folks that love new ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but when you gotta figure there's always a way to make things happen. Because I mean, you may have not saying that
like go find a club with new.
No. I mean, we may come up and develop and say, hey, BBS Boys new division.
Okay.
Versus BBS Boys Classic Division.
Okay.
We're part of the Classic Division, but I mean, like, some have brand new cars. You know, the thing is, are the wheels on the car? You know, like,
and
that's one part of it. You gotta have at least a set.
And then each person looks at differently. You know, each person gets judged independently. Based on what you coming to the table with. How you know? Because again, you talk about a group of guys that have been together 30 years plus, that know a lot about each other. You know, and when you have that, there's a certain bond there that when you let somebody inside that circle, you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, you have to. No, you do. You have to protect that.
You know, but far as the movement goes, and somebody want to participate in just what we're doing, you know, like to your point, the cars and all that, there's certain criteria for that. Nobody can stop you from driving your car to wherever we at. You know, just show up, this, that, and the other.
And that's a good look on your behalf. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
you know. So, I mean, it's more to come on that, because as it starts to happen, you'll see that morph into what it's going to morph into. We'll see what's going to happen at that point. That's why I say I can't wait till the spring to see what is that, you know, how does it start to develop in that space. Because right now, we have people calling in, or maybe, you know, just, I pass out cards all the time and this, that, and the other. And right now, it's in my opinion, a chill mode with the cars. Nobody's really bringing out their car right now. The winter is here, you know. So
man, I'm 24/7.
Yeah, so they doing their thing.
Right.
Yeah. Make sure y'all give us a call, man. 248-429-7224. That's right, BBS Boys Detroit. We up in here. Got my man K Boogie, DJ Tone. Shout out to Tony Tone, Sonny Mac, nephew Brent. Y'all can check us out, man, on BBSBoysDetroit.com. That's where the merch is at. You go get you some hoodies, skull caps, you know what I'm saying?
Cold outside.
Yeah, it's cold outside. We talking about
sure is. I'm glad I got on my hoodie.
Good look, man. Keep you nice and warm.
Yeah.
Once again, it's Christmas time, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Also, you can hit us up on IG _BBS Boys Detroit. Check out what we got on there. We posting up those cars and everything else that's going on, man. Shout out again to fellow BBS boys across the country. My man Rich Reg, Drat, Thorough. Shout out to my man DJ Epps, Troy, Baltimore club out there, man. Thank y'all for hitting us up like y'all do regularly. Also to be out there in Oakland. All the other chapters out there, we talk about
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, UC Club down in Atlanta.
Yeah, don't forget about Paid in Full.
Yeah, Paid in Full all day long. Yeah, so it's all out there, y'all. It's happening. It's moving on strong. Christmas time, y'all. Merry Christmas to everybody, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays. Make sure you're safe out there, and you know, for the sake of these cars, when we talk about, please don't get in your car drinking and driving, man. They got all kind of services, Uber, all kind of stuff. I even heard something the other day where they got AAA, where you can call them, they'll bring a tow truck and take you home. The first 300 or some people that do that, it's going to be free. And they do this every year. They've been doing it now for the 5 or 6 years. So, you know, if you're in a situation, please make sure you don't get behind that wheel and drive a car. For next week, we're not going to be live next week. So I meant to tell you that, Troy, when you called us. But you can go check one of 7 episodes that we've had going on the last couple months. And I recommend you pick the one that we talked to Reg and Thorough and them when they came in from New York, man. That was a good show right there. Go and pick that one up. Go check it out, as you can hear more about what they're doing and what their plans were. And then, so with that being said, we're going to end the show.
Hold on, I got something.
What you got?
We're going to have a couple of special guests coming at the beginning. And actually going to pertain to probably what Glenn will have going with his awards show.
Well, who that is?
Man, we got, thanks to Nephew Nice, we got Big Herc coming in.
Oh man, you can't be surprising me, Tone. I need to know what's happening, man.
Yeah, we got a lineup coming in. We got Big Herc coming in. We got Alkaline Cinema coming in. That's family right there. So we putting Detroit back out there still.
That's the purpose, man, to put everybody back out there, man.
Yeah.
So, we got to talk about that because I got some other things planned as well. So we'll get y'all up on what we got coming, who's coming to the show, and all those different things. Because 2022, like I said, it's going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about a lot of things, all Detroit. Not just Detroit, but majority of what's happening in Detroit, man. We got to put us, like Tone just said, back on the map and put some attention on what we got going on in the city, y'all. Once again, shout out to my man Glenn. Thank you for working the board, man. All the things you've been doing for us. We appreciate that, man. And again, we'll see y'all in January. Yep. First week of January, we have a nice show. We'll jump out there and start doing the things that we talked about these last few shows. So check us out, episodes 1 through 7. Pick whatever you like. Go on out there and make sure you like it out there on YouTube. All right, y'all. Anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here?
Man,
Any
I just want to wish everybody happy holidays. Be safe and be sure to cherish your family because even though it seemed like we're not in trying times to some, we are in trying times still. But definitely take this time to praise the man upstairs, the Lord, and also embrace your family and friends that's close to you, not the frenemies, but the ones that's close. You know who you are, you know who they are, and definitely enjoy.
Stay safe, stay healthy. Happy holidays.
Well, man, nice, short, and sweet. I like it.
That's it.
My man, K Boogie. Shout out to the rest of the crew.
That's right.
Sonny Mac, Tony Tone, Nephew. Hey, y'all. BBS Boys Detroit, we out.
What up, dog?
I'm talking beaming ring. I was on a high till I caught onto the scene. I lost my heart when I fell in love with things. Rookie year went broke like Jalen Rose. Got the price, sold my soul to the things I own. Switched up, locked in and got my mind right. Prioritizing, got my business and my time right. Wristwatch, no TikTok, you know the crown.